She wasn't supposed to say that. We were just sitting there. Normal evening, nothing special. And then she looked at me and said, "Do you ever feel like you ended up in the wrong life?" I laughed, not because it was funny, but because I didn't know what else to do. Her husband was in the next room, 10 steps away, and she said it like that, calm. "I'm serious," she added, and this time she didn't look away. That's when something shifted, not loudly, but enough for me to feel it. I should have changed the subject. I should have stood up. I should have left, but I didn't. "Sometimes," I said, and that was it. That one word opened something neither of us closed again. What I didn't realize in that moment was that she wasn't asking a question. She was testing something, and I had just given her the answer she was waiting for. The night went on like nothing happened. Dinner, small talk, TV noise in the background, but underneath it, everything felt different. Every time our eyes met, it stayed a second too long. And once you notice that, you can't unnotice it. The next day, she texted me, not about what she said, not about the night, just, "Are you free later?" That message shouldn't have meant anything, but it did, because it felt intentional. I told myself I was overthinking. I told myself this was normal, but I still said yes. That was mistake number 1. When I got there, her husband wasn't home. I noticed immediately. "Where is he?" I asked. "Working late," she said. Too quickly. That's when the air changed, because now there was no buffer, no reason to pretend. We sat across from each other. Same house, same chairs, same everything. But it didn't feel the same. It felt closer, quieter, more. That was the first time I realized something dangerous. When two people stop pretending, that's when things start moving forward. Even if no one says it out loud. She started talking again, but not casually. This time, it was deeper, about her marriage, about feeling unseen, about silence at home. I listened, and that was my second mistake, because listening turns into understanding, and understanding creates connection, and connection, that's where boundaries start to blur. There was a moment, small, almost invisible. She stood up, walked past me. Too close, not touching, but close enough to feel it. And neither of us moved. That was the moment. The line was still there, but it wasn't respected anymore. And here's the truth most people don't admit. The first line isn't crossed with action. It's crossed with silence. After that, everything got easier, not better. Easier, more visits, more time alone, less hesitation. And every time we got a little more comfortable. That's how it happens. Not all at once, slowly, until one day you stop asking if it's wrong and start asking how far it's already gone. She started coming over instead. My place, my space. That's when things shifted again, because now it wasn't her world anymore. It was mine, and somehow that made it. Because when someone enters your space, they're not just visiting. They're becoming part of your life. One evening, she stayed late, later than usual. We didn't even notice the time. Or maybe we did, and chose to ignore it. The room was quiet, no TV, no music, just silence. And that silence felt heavy, not empty, full. That's when I realized something else. We weren't avoiding the moment anymore. We were waiting for it. And that's when it becomes dangerous. Because waiting for something means part of you already decided. She looked at me, not quickly, not casually, direct. And for a second, everything stopped. That moment stretched longer than it should have. And then her phone rang. We both froze. Reality breaking through. She looked at the screen, didn't answer. Silence again. But now it felt different, because now we knew. Not everything, but enough. And once you know enough, there's no going back to normal. The next few days were the hardest, not because something happened, because nothing did, but everything almost did. And that almost is louder than anything real. We stopped texting as much, stopped seeing each other as often, but the tension, it didn't go away. It got stronger, because distance doesn't remove connection. It sharpens it. That's when I realized the real problem. It wasn't about her marriage anymore. It was about me. Because I wasn't just involved. I was choosing to stay. And that's something you can't blame on anyone else. Then came the moment I didn't expect. Her husband showed up at my place, unannounced. And the way he looked at me told me everything. He didn't need proof. He didn't need explanations. He already knew. And in that moment, I understood something I had been avoiding the entire time. This didn't start with her. It didn't start with the conversation. It didn't start with the silence. It started the moment I didn't walk away. And by the time I understood that, it was already too late. If you're still here, be honest. At what point would you have stopped? Because the truth is, most people don't see the line when it appears. They see it after they've already crossed it. And in part 2, I'll tell you what happened next. Because what he did after that moment changed everything.